Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wrights Corner with Super Wrights, radio host on 91.5 FM WMFO, as well as 100.1 FM WBRS, the Pacifica Radio Network. I want to talk about why the most special of feats cannot be duplicated in sports, and that oftentimes lightning does not strike twice in a bottle. I'm specifically referring to the Kansas City Chiefs because we talked about how during the dynasty with the New England Patriots, whether if there was going to be a team that would rise in the AFC and challenge the New England Patriots for their dominance, and for argument's sake, there were national pundits that were ready to say, well, the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to be that team. They're going to be that team that is going to be the new kings of the AFC and so forth. And for a little while, it looked like that was going to be the case. 2018, Patrick Mahomes first year as a starter. He wins the league MVP. He goes ahead and leads the Kansas City Chiefs to the AFC title game, one of the greatest playoff games ever played, only to fall short in overtime to the New England Patriots 37-31. However, the following year, we saw the emergence of Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs becoming that championship team. And after they won Super Bowl 54, we believed, and when I say we, I'm talking about sports fans believe that the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to be the new dynasty. They're going to roll their way to the Super Bowl, and that there is going to be a team in the AFC that's going to be able to compete with these guys. It's funny how time works, right? Isn't it funny how we think that we have it all figured out in a short period of time, only to realize that, one, we don't know a damn thing. Number two, we realize that, well, actually, not so fast. Not so fast. There's a lot more we still need to see. Because in 2020, the Kansas City Chiefs got back to the Super Bowl, only to face who? Some guy named Tom Brady again, this time with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Remember 2 years prior, in 2018, they faced the Patriots and Tom Brady in the AFC title game, only to come up short. Mahomes returns back to the Super Bowl for the second straight year, and we're thinking, Chiefs are going to repeat, right? Tom Brady says, not so fast. Wins the game by 22 points and wins the seventh Super Bowl title. And yet we're thinking perhaps, well, the Chiefs, they're going to get back to the Super Bowl. Maybe they get back and win it again in 2021, right? Meanwhile, everything looked good. Everything looked smooth, and everything was smooth sailing for the Kansas City Chiefs in the offseason, being able to make the moves that they made in terms of the offseason. That's why I say it was smooth sailing in terms of they made the moves that they needed to make. They did what they needed to do. They needed to rebuild that offensive line. They did a tremendous job of doing that. However, as we all remember, the regular season did not get off to the most glamorous of starts for the Kansas City Chiefs. In fact, it was up and down, very up and down. And even towards the end of the season, there were still some question marks as to, can the Chiefs round into form going into the playoffs? They just happened to run into a team called the Cincinnati Bengals in Week 18, in which that they were given a harsh dose of reality. That maybe not everything is as smooth sailing as they thought it would be, going back to the Super Bowl again for a third straight year. I just think it's hilarious when you begin to think about how at the time it just seemed as if that the Kansas City Chiefs were going to be able to just steamway their way to Los Angeles. Not so fast. They beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the wild card weekend. They beat the Buffalo Bills in an absolute doozy of a classic. And then they ran into the same Cincinnati Bengals team who they lost to in Week 18, and they had an 18-point lead And I believe if they go for the field goal with 5 seconds remaining, this is a different ball game. But they didn't. They decided that they were going to absolutely go for the touchdown and get burned. They got burned. I'm not saying that was the reason why they lost. There were a lot of reasons. None more than which that the Cincinnati Bengals defense absolutely shut down Patrick Mahomes in the second half. And even though that the Kansas City Chiefs blew a 21-3 lead, they tied up late in the fourth. And we're thinking, when the Kansas City Chiefs won the coin toss, oh my God, game over, right? Game over. Woo, game over. No, not so fast. Not so fast. They had the ball. And then what does Patrick Mahomes do with the ball? Turn it over. Interception. And then Cincinnati takes over, and then we all know what happened next. Cincinnati wins it. They're off to the Super Bowl. And with that loss, and that has to be one of the most devastating losses in recent playoff memory for the Kansas City Chiefs. But that loss should, in fact, deliver a very grim reminder to us all, not just Chiefs fans, but to football fans, that if you're ever going to try and nitpick a team and select them as being the next great dynasty in the NFL, please remember that what the Patriots did for 20 years, despite your personal feelings about the Patriots, was so damn hard. And it's still mind-boggling that they were able to accomplish the success that they had and be able to be as successful and as competitive for championships as long as they were. Even though they had a 10-year gap between winning Super Bowl 39 and Super Bowl 49, they still competed. They were still a competitive team. And what makes it even more amazing is this. As much as we want to talk about Kansas City, they have something special in Patrick Mahomes, and they do. But even he admitted to the fact that there is something absolutely clear that it is so hard to get back and win it again. Getting back to the Super Bowl is not a birthright. It may appear easy because the Patriots, they were able to do it as frequently as they did during their 20-year stretch. And that was with Tom Brady here in New England. But the reality is this. It is hard. It's even harder to repeat Patrick Mahomes, as he knows. It is even harder to get back there for a third straight year. Go ask Patrick Mahomes that very same question. Before yesterday, who was the last team to get to 3 straight Super Bowls in the NFL? The New England Patriots, 2016, 2017, 2018. 3 straight Super Bowls. Patriots winning 2 out of 3. But that in itself should speak to the absurdity of how amazing and how dominant their dynasty was over the last 20 years, especially in the last 5, 6, 7 years overall. And that's all obviously with Tom Brady being in New England with the Patriots. So the Chiefs' loss yesterday to the Cincinnati Bengals should be an indicator and a harsh reality check to football fans everywhere that what you saw with the New England Patriots for 20 years was special. It will absolutely never be duplicated again. It will never be duplicated again. What you saw with the Patriots was once in 5 galaxies. What the Kansas City Chiefs, are trying to duplicate, they will never be able to get there. It's just not going to happen because guess what? The AFC is stacked, absolutely stacked now. It isn't just Patrick Mahomes' conference to roll over and to dominate. He's got two legitimate quarterbacks to compete with him in the AFC, and that's Josh Allen and that is Joe Burrow. That's part of the reason why what the Patriots were able to do for 20 years with Brady as a starting quarterback is nothing short of incredible, remarkable, and throwing all of the other superlatives that you want to throw in there. The Chiefs are getting a harsh reality check this morning. You can't duplicate what the Patriots did because it will never happen again. Have a good one, everybody.